It's time for the President's Report. It's been a very long day. So I have just a couple things I wanted to say real quick, and we'll save more thought for another day. I hope everybody had a festive 4th of July. At this time of year, the board's been participating in the annual administrators retreat today, and it's going to continue tomorrow. It's time for renewal, some new learning, and making plans for the upcoming year. And for me, it's just a reminder that while our faculty are enjoying a well-deserved break from inspiring our kids, our central district staff and building leaders never really stop working. And so just want to take a minute to express my appreciation for their dedication and energy and the planning that went into the retreat today and that will take place tomorrow. So thank you guys. And my hope is for the upcoming year, well, actually, before I say that, I also want to thank my fellow board members in advance for all the time and attention that are being required for the upcoming year and the inevitable mistakes I will make as my first-time board president. And I hope that you all help me to course correct as needed. So and a special shout out to Hillary for leading us so well last year. So thank you, Hillary. Well-deserved break down on the end now. In general, my hope is that in the upcoming year, we can put some focused attention on finding regular opportunities to express our gratitude and appreciation like I just did now for each other, for our district faculty and staff, families, students, community members, and so on. We're fortunate to have many advantages here in Chappaqua. Our graduates grow into happy, purposeful adults, go on to do amazing things, and we continue to attract great talent. Our families are very engaged. I could go on and on. So despite what might be happening in the world around us now or going forward, my hope is in the coming year, we can keep our eyes focused on what our school district can control, support what's best for our students, continue to improve wherever we see opportunities for growth while also acknowledging just how good we have it here and that we're all on the same team. So with that, look forward to the upcoming year, and I hope that everybody has a great rest of their summer. With that, I think we have 2 resolutions we need to do before, is that right or no? Yeah. Right. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of resolutions next, and then we'll turn it over to Dr. Ackman. So I just have to find that spot. So hold on. We need to do 5.1.1, which are the board, committee, and liaison assignments. Do we do that by just calling a motion to, okay, so can I have a motion to accept the board, committee, and liaison assignments that we've come up with for the year?
I move.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion passes. And then I also need a motion to accept the 2024-25 Board of Education meeting schedule.
I move.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion passes. Okay, Dr. Ackerman, you're up.
Thank you, Ryan, and congratulations on accepting the presidency. So looking forward to working with you in that capacity. Okay, so Adam and I just wanted to highlight some of the summer work that's happening here in the district, and then some other agenda items for the board's consideration this evening. So we're going to talk about first, we've received a report from our literacy consultants who presented at the last meeting. So I just want Adam to share a little bit about where that report is, so if our parents want to review it, and then what our next steps are since we've received it.
Thank you. So this morning we shared that report with our faculty and staff in all of our buildings. And then later today we posted it in 2 places on our website. We posted it on the main page, and then we also posted it on the curriculum page under the literacy page. So it's in 2 places for our community to see it. We posted both the full report, which is at just over 70 pages, as well as the executive summary. We've also have a fellowship for your consideration. You'll see that as 8.13. So a big part of that report was to put together a team. We do have our science of reading task force, but we'd like to formalize that further. That's in the form of a learning team right now, like an in-service class. But we'd like to formalize that a little bit more as a fellowship. We'll have faculty members apply to that fellowship using a process that we use for fellowships. And so we have a SMOA in there with the CCT. They've shown their support, and we're hoping you will too. And then that team will go through those recommendations and start to review programs, et cetera. We're going to make sure that we align all of our summer PD with state ed briefs, and also that report with program agnostic, things that are supported both by the state ed department as well as the our consultants with regard to the science of reading. And then the last thing is our PD plan for 24-25. We're in the process of making some revisions to that to make sure that we're aligned with the report that we got and also the state ed briefs that they've published.
And then on the calendar that the board just approved this evening, we have an update plan for October 23rd. So that will give us enough time to put our fellowship in place and then begin some of the work, because one of the first steps in the recommended actions from the consultants is that we come up with our own literacy philosophy. So I know that it was important at the last meeting that we know that this is going to be a process, but there has to be targets and there has to be a pace to it that's reasonable. So that is what our plan is moving forward. And then I also, Adam and his team have been working on launching a pre-K program. So I'd just like Adam to talk a little bit about that. We have a lot of families that are interested, which is great.
Yeah, so we did conduct a webinar, myself as well as the director from Healthy Kids, and that's recorded and it's on our pre-K web page that we've created, which is also under curriculum. That informational webinar is there. The slide deck is there. If folks don't want to watch the webinar, they just want to click through the slide deck. It's got a lot of helpful information. I was contacted by some parents thanking us for all of that information in there. If anybody has any further questions, they should certainly contact me. The registration deadline is July 26th. That families need to let us know that they're interested, and then we're going to have a lottery on July 31st. Right now we have 122 children that are interested, so it's quite a few. It's in demand. And then I did want to note that we had used quite a few mentor documents and texts, and everybody in the region was using this December 1st cutoff. And the law 3602E says that you need to use December 1st, but there is a follow-up part that says, or students who will otherwise be first eligible to enter public school, et cetera. And so we can use that. We're going to make an adjustment to our December 1st cutoff and align it to our kindergarten cutoff. We originally thought we weren't allowed to do that because that date was explicit in the law, but there is that caveat to it. So we're going to make that adjustment. We've already updated it on our website, and we're going to send out more information to the community tomorrow so they know that we've made an adjustment to that date, because there were some students that wouldn't potentially qualify that now will qualify. So we'll make sure we communicate that widely.
I also wanted to mention that we have our contract in place for Ellen Doherty on the agenda. She's been working with the district since 2020. She was an assistant superintendent here, and then she had moved into an executive coaching position for administrators and a support position for our DEI faculty and staff, as was recommended through the Insight Equity Audit. And so her work is focusing on supporting our administrative team and identifying areas for growth and providing professional and emotional support as they navigate through their positions. And it's an optional opportunity for our staff. We do have a number of administrators that take advantage of this. I know when I was a principal, it was very helpful for me to have an administrative coach that wasn't affiliated with the district to bounce off ideas in different situations with. And also, Ellen has been really helpful for us as we've navigated some really difficult issues throughout our time here, because she does also have, in addition to being a well-established administrator in both as a secondary principal and as a special education director, she's a social worker by trade, and some of the issues that our administrative teams have had to lead our faculty through have been really challenging. So her contract is on the agenda again for renewal consideration, as is her work with our DEI faculty, because we felt that collectively as a school district and board that retention is really important, and this is one of the ways that it was identified that we could continue to support and retain our staff by providing this extra layer of professional development. And then I just wanted Adam to go through some of what we're working on this summer with our faculty.
So here we go. So I did mention literacy. I did want to highlight a few things. This isn't an exhaustive list, but it kind of gets me excited to share some of the things that are happening over the summer. We basically have faculty members, professional developers, counselors here almost the entire summer engaged in curriculum writing and professional learning. With literacy, we're doing some morphology work about grammar, Latin roots, things like that in grades 3 through 6. Phonics first work, handwriting without tears, curriculum alignment in 7 through 12, as well as some elective development in grade 11 in English at Greeley. In math, there's not a lot of curriculum changes, but we're focusing on research-based instructional practices in grades 6 through 8, some updates to geometry. And then New York State just published their computer science fluency standards, so we're making some adjustments to our computer science kind of scope and sequence as the students move through from the elementary all the way through the high school. Science, the action is happening in 8th and 9th grade, as you'd expect. Some reworking of biology. That course name is changing. It was biology, then living environment. Now it's going back to biology. The curriculum's changed a little bit. Ninth grade electives are still under development. We continue to work on those. We're offering Science 8 at Bell. So we're continuing to work on that curriculum as well as some science research. Social studies, Global 910, you're aware of that. We spoke about that earlier in the school year. We're also doing some work with teachers K-12 on the election 2024 and how to approach the election when it comes to teaching students about that. Life School, the main update is our teachers are preparing to make a shift towards international baccalaureate. It takes an additional year. There's a year of training and curriculum work that's done, and then that's implemented in the following year. Languages, the work is around elementary school, so that's part of our strategic plan. So what shifts we'll make in the middle school, and also what program we want to implement in the elementary school to introduce students to world language. STEAM, you can see the list there. You got a little bit of a dose of that as we visited Apple today. We also have a coding camp, some work on artificial intelligence and STEAM curriculum. And we sent a couple of teachers, Zach Arnold and Mike DeBellis, out west to do some work on the electric car. They actually were able to attend an adult camp on how to build that electric car and teach students to do the same. So that was a grant from the CSF. So you'll see that rolling in here in the fall. And then we have some work as well on sense of belonging. We have some course development and also an in-service course that we're running that you can see there.
Can I just got some messages saying that people can't hear the audio. It's really bad, that people are having a hard time understanding what we're saying.
Okay, well, we'll make sure we speak into the
Everyone.
microphones. I don't
Yeah.
know, David, is everything working?
Thank you.
All right, and so then I just wanted to highlight a few dates. I mean, we're in the middle of the summer, but we are still working. And so if people need any kind of support, we're here on Monday through Thursday, but we also have one of our programs running on Friday. So you can certainly reach out to us. And just in terms of where we are in the schedule, the 29th is when we really start to get moving again, and we start registering our athletes. We have a meeting on the 7th for the board. And then on the 12th, we start registering our modified athletes. And then on the 21st is really our first meeting before we start fall sports, where we welcome our new families in grades 1 through 12 to the district. And that is the end of the superintendent's report.
Are we allowed to ask any questions about some of the slides?
Christina, we want to ask a few questions. Yeah.
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 The life, can we go back to what Adam presented? The slide with the.
Yes.
So the life school, US history, math, IB, CP, so is the life school evolving and changing again? Or so we're changing it from what has historically been life school?
Yeah, so we've had a few iterations of Life School. We have almost an entirely new staff that's either come on board this year or next year. Not new to Greeley, but new to the Life School. And so we did some work with the high school administration, myself, and some of our professional developers, where we kind of revisioned the new vision of the Life School and did some work around that. And so they've got some curriculum development work that they're working on, as well as this shift to the International Baccalaureate program, which the teachers are being trained on now.
So is there, I don't know if I missed it, are there any communications with the community on the different changes that's going to be happening with the life school? Because I know that families were interested in life school, and if it's changing, they need to understand what the changes are, why the changes were made, and how will this improve their life school experience, and decide if they want to continue or apply. You know, I don't know, I don't have any experience with life school, but I'm wondering if there's any communication with the community about the change, because life school has been such a big part of our district. So just understanding the differences and the changes that we are proposing to make, or maybe we made already.
Yeah, I understand as part of the application process that there's a pretty extensive campaign around what is life school, who would potentially be a good fit for life school, what would students expect, parents are involved in that process. So these things will continue to be communicated through that process. I think because an important part of this is kind of fit for students, that they know what they're signing up for and parents know what they're signing up for, and there's good, open, honest, clear communication around that. So that'll all be part of that application process.
Okay, so it's only for people that would be interested that would have this information in a more thorough way, not for the general community.
So so this is not for next year, this is a planning year, and then when parents are interested in potentially applying for a life school with their children, there's an informational meeting, and that's when they find out the structure and the general tenor of what that program looks and feels like. So right now, last year was a process to decide whether or not the life school staff wanted to move forward in this direction, which they all felt would be really beneficial for the program. So now it's that learning process where they figure out collectively, okay, what does this look like in action? And that is not over the course of next year. So there's no, the students who are in life school next year will be experiencing the same program that was in place this year. So this is 2 years out.
Okay.
So maybe it would be helpful too, I think, when the high school presents it, they could share
Yeah,
what this looks like.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful and it would be better just because I think in general, it's something that our district offers, and I think the more people that have information about it, they could even contemplate, you could contemplate in even going to the information session, but if you have no idea, and especially because of the changes, right, you don't know if it's going to be something that you're even interested in. So I think the more people who know about it and understand, I think it'll be beneficial to the district.
Yeah, so if I could just note, I just pulled up the decisions book. There are several pages on the life school that outlines every course and what students would expect. So that's published, before students register. And I guess a student, I don't think we have many students that are in life school that choose not to continue in life school. But if a student did see that, as Dr. Ackerman said, next year, the shift won't be as significant as the following year when they shift to IB. So there'll be more, more communications around that. But there are, several pages of all the different subject areas, what courses are offered, math, science, English, social studies.
So we should expect the decision book to change in advance.
That's right.
For people to find out
That's
how
right.
it's going to be adjusted. Yeah.
Adam, there was also talk, I heard at some point, I don't remember where now, that maybe life school would be opened up to sophomores as well. Is that still in consideration for the coming years, or is that not on the table right now?
That's not on the table right now. I think where conversations have been around is if we could offer some sort of 9-10 program to kind of dovetail with 11 and 12, but I think that the collective, this wasn't just a life school exploration, this was a full faculty exploration, because IB can span well beyond life school. This is just
Right.
where it's starting.
Okay.
And so I think that the focus was, let's look at implementing this 11th through 12th grade and then talk about, is there other places that we should expand it? And so in addition to whether or not life school could fit in 9th and 10th grade, we've also talked about if TSP could fit in the middle school, but we're taking things at one step at a time.
And I know this past school year, the life school offered AP courses, but IB is obviously a different thing from AP. So for this coming year, it will be a similar program to what was there last year, and then the following year, it'll switch from AP to IB.
So next year, offering AP classes, part of this decision-making process will be, because there's some schools that offer IB and AP, so that'll be part of what they'll be discussing as they start to move in this direction.
Thanks.
Christine, I guess this question is more for you than for Adam. Adam just said that generally speaking, every kid in the life school stays in the life school. So what exactly, I guess, is your thought process and decision-making and the genesis behind wanting to change it in any way?
Yeah, so the career, the IB component that they're looking at is career exploration, and it fits in nicely with the project-based learning model that is the foundation of life school education. And so they're looking for a way to kind of capitalize on the latest research and what works well in the curriculum in that space, because that originally was intended to be the project-based school where they would capitalize on different progressive curricular techniques and look to see if they could expand that to the main campus. So they've done that this year with advisory, and now advisory is moving to grades 9 and 10 based off of the life school experience. So I think this is the next progression for that program. And I just want to, I don't know if we've talked about this collectively in a public session, but about 2 years ago, we were concerned about enrollment in life school. We've made some shifts, and we had more applicants this year than we had spaces available. So I think we're headed in the right direction with the new leadership there. And I think this is just another opportunity to reshape this program to best prepare our students in that program as they transition out into their next space, which is normally college.